While we're there, though, with Once Brothers, AJ and I, we love that documentary, one of our favorite 30 for 30s. We spoke about an emotional moment with the brother that you were able to capture with your camera when the mom broke down, talking about how a Croatian resident came to her and said, Drazen wasn't your son, he was our son. And there was an emotional moment there, kind of a rack focus to the brother in a very touching moment. And that was your camera. Talk about that moment. We spoke about it with Michael Talasian.
Yeah, well, I mean, hats off to Mike for creating that moment, right? And his vision and ending in Drazen's mom's house, which was incredibly powerful. Um, I had this camera in my hand, and I was thinking the entire time on the trip, a couple of things. Number one, being incredibly aware of what the A camera was shooting, right? So I'm not shooting the same thing. And if I am, if he's wide, I'm tight. If he or vice versa. Um, and I think in that moment, I think it's easy to sort of get buried behind the lens, right? Where you're shooting something and you're caught up in that moment, and you're sort of more caught up in the action than what the camera is capturing, right? I think that's an easy thing to have happen. What happened with me in that moment is that I knew that Michael Winnick, our amazing DP, was shooting Drazen's mom's face as she was talking, right? And Drazen's brother was there translating. So luckily there was enough time enough emotion to go around that I could get a bunch of different shots, and we were just sort of lucky that we were able to capture that moment. And Drazen's mom playing with the necklace that has Drazen's face on it, just trying to pick up all of these little nuanced shots that are packed with emotion, right? And I think I was probably in my mind at the time just thinking, get everything. And in the edit room, that's where you realize, okay, we got something. So
I love your humility, but I'm a believer that you create your own luck. And I think for you, learning how to shoot a camera, which you kind of glossed over, is that you were an editor, but you also obviously taught yourself how to shoot. And then having that skill and being there in that moment and being ready for it and capturing it, as Seth said, and Michael told us, it was just a really good moment in the film that just sort of jumped off at you as soon as you saw it. So well done.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, honestly, like I said before, this was the first real film that I had worked on, and I knew Mike had done films before. He was a film school guy at USC, and so I just wanted to be a sponge.
Yeah, take it all in, right?
Whenever I could, and I knew that every decision that he made was being made for a reason that maybe I couldn't even see at the time, but I was internalizing all of it, and trying to think, why did he make that decision? If I told him, hey, maybe, he would always give me a chance at the end of an interview, hey, did I miss anything? Which I do now to my producers. And I would say something and he would skip over it. And I would say, why did he skip over that? Did he cover it somewhere else? So I was always trying to process these things and learn from him. And it was an incredible experience.